So, here's the moment everyone keeps avoiding, but nobody is really saying out loud. That small, silly microphone said more about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's relationship than any royal expert or palace press release ever could. You might have missed it if you blinked. But when Harry held the mic and didn't hand it over to Meghan, that wasn't an accident. That was a message. A quiet, awkward move in front of cameras, lights, and a crowd that didn't know what to think of it. And Meghan, oh, she tried. She stepped forward uninvited in a wrinkled outfit that looked like it had been crushed in a suitcase, hoping to make herself part of a moment that clearly wasn't meant for her. But this time, her usual plan didn't work. Nobody clapped. Harry barely looked at her. The man she usually sticks to on stage hardly even turned his head, let alone gave her the spotlight. There was no sharing of the mic, no polite gesture, no ladies first. It was just silence, stares, and a big shift in power that happened live and awkward. That alone told the full story. But here's the shocking part. Nobody is talking about it. The mainstream press is completely silent. They are still holding on to the old fairy tale. They are still selling the idea of a power couple while ignoring the obvious problem, walking across the stage in heels and a deep tan. Meghan wasn't even supposed to be on that stage. Yet, there she was, forcing herself into the moment, taking camera time, only to end up standing like an unwanted extra. And Harry, he looked like he had seen this happen before. You could almost read his thoughts when she tapped him on the back. Oh great, here we go again. The moment she showed up, the mood changed. Not in a romantic way, not in a "my queen has arrived" way, but in that awkward, "oh no, please don't make this weird" way. The same man who once tried to hand her the mic in front of the world now chose to keep it to himself. That's not just a small slip. That's growth, frustration, or both. Then she did what she always does. She stood there, smiled wide like everything was normal, and tried to look calm. Except nobody believed it. The audience stayed quiet. The people on stage didn't react. Harry kept talking. Meghan just stood in the background, slowly realizing she wasn't part of the moment, then walked off quietly like a guest who stayed too long at a party. But again, where's the video? Where are the headlines? Why is nobody showing this clip non-stop the way they do when Meghan fakes a smile or Harry scratches his nose? Because it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the story the media wants people to believe. It doesn't fit the modern royals in love story. This was raw. This was awkward. This was real. And real is something the press has been avoiding when it comes to Meghan and Harry. And while all of that happened on stage, another small detail almost went unseen: Ukraine, yes. The government of Ukraine called Harry His Royal Highness in official letters. Let that sink in. The same title he supposedly lost. The same title the palace was said to be done with. Yet no correction, no statement, no pushback from Buckingham Palace. Why? Because maybe, just maybe, he isn't as cut off from the family as they say. Or maybe the palace is quietly playing both sides. Either way, this wasn't random. This was official protocol. And protocol, especially in politics, is never random. So, between the cold reaction on stage and the quiet recognition from Ukraine, what are we really seeing? A man stuck between two worlds. A woman trying hard to get back on stage. And a palace that says more through silence than through words. Prince Harry may seem halfway out of the royal life, but he's still deep in the trouble. People think he is broken free, living a fun California life, doing podcasts and polo under the sun. But then you notice the small signs, like who he travels with, how governments address him, and who still controls things behind the scenes. You think it's just chance that he went to Ukraine with palace staff? Not friends, not private helpers. Palace staff, the kind that don't fly without permission. And yet somehow the royal PR machine wants us to believe he's just a regular guy now. If this was just about looks, it would be funny. But it's not. It's about power. Who has it? Who lost it? And who is pretending they still do? Meghan Markle, for all the headlines and glamour, is slipping. You can feel it. The charm act isn't charming anymore. She used to control every frame, every photo, every word. Now when she steps on stage uninvited, people look confused instead of impressed. The magic is gone, only tension remains. And what happened at that Kevin Costner event? That's where it all fell apart. Meghan wasn't invited. She wasn't expected, yet she showed up, forcing herself into a moment that wasn't hers. Security didn't stop her. The organizers didn't object, but you could feel the discomfort in the room. Everyone froze. Cameras kept rolling, but nobody clapped. Nobody knew what to do. It was like a glitch in the system. Something off, something unscripted. Then came the tantrum. Not the wild kind with broken glass and shouting. This was the quiet kind, the smile too hard kind. The stand there until someone notices kind. And when no one did, she left. Stormed off. The kind of exit that says, "I didn't get what I wanted." And backstage, people say she wasn't calm about it. That smile disappeared the second she was off camera. And what do you think happened to Harry once they got in the car? Do you think he didn't get blamed? This isn't just a marriage with problems. It's a partnership where one is losing control and the other is forced to act like nothing's wrong. Meanwhile, the press keeps playing games. One day they say Harry and King Charles will reunite in 6 years. 6 years. That's oddly specific, right? Feels more like a placeholder than a plan. More like a way to keep people waiting. To keep the donations coming, the Netflix deal's alive, and the hope of reunion alive. Because if people think there's still a chance, the Sussex brand stays valuable. But valuable to who? That's the question. Because while Meghan tries to push back into the spotlight, the royal family is playing a quiet strategy. They aren't loud, they aren't dramatic, but they know how to play. They know how to let the story fade without adding fuel. No official words, no press releases, just silence. And in that silence, Meghan looks more desperate, and Harry looks more alone. This isn't just about a broken marriage. It's about two people who thought they could leave the system and build their own empire, only to realize they needed the old one to stay important. And now, with the palace ignoring them, the press selling fairy tales, and the public rolling their eyes, all that's left is awkward stares, missed signals, and a mic that never got passed. The more you look, the clearer it gets. This isn't just a media problem or a small rough patch in a celebrity couple's life. This is the full collapse of the story they worked on for years. Meghan once controlled the stage, the mood, the story. Now she is fighting just to stay noticed. Every move looks forced. Every outfit, every event, every fake smile, it all feels like she's trying too hard to matter. And people around them are noticing. Insiders aren't silent anymore. They're whispering, watching, waiting. The thing that once made Meghan powerful was her talent to twist the story better than anyone else. She could take the most boring moment and dress it up as either victimhood or empowerment. But that only works if people believe it. And lately, they don't. You can't keep selling empowerment while crashing events uninvited and getting angry when the spotlight doesn't follow. The mask is slipping, and underneath isn't a misunderstood hero. It's just another entitled celebrity who can't believe the world has moved on. And Harry, he looks tired. Not in the "I traveled too much" way, but in the "I've been quiet for years" way. This man went from being the fun, likable royal everyone supported to someone who can hardly say a sentence without sounding fake and unsure. He's not just half in and half out of the royal family, he's half in and half out of himself. California hasn't set him free. It's made him quieter, more doubtful, more stuck. Back in the UK, the royal machine keeps working without him. King Charles doesn't hesitate. Prince William doesn't slow down. The palace doesn't even issue clarifications anymore. Why should they, when Harry and Meghan are stuck on their own in Montecito? Meanwhile, the real royal show, the one that still has respect, power, and attention, goes on without them. Harry knows it. That's why every trip to Europe feels like him begging for relevance. Every event looks like an attempt to stay connected to the crown, even unofficially. And yet, the biggest twist is that the press still plays along, not because they support Harry and Meghan, but because drama sells. They print nice stories when it suits them, and scandal when it brings clicks. One day they push reunion headlines. The next, they spread rumors the couple is breaking up. It's not journalism, it's bait. And Harry and Meghan keep taking it. The silence from Buckingham Palace isn't weakness, it's strategy. Every time Meghan complains, every time Harry talks about trauma, the royal family simply stays quiet. They know the best way to handle a fire is to let it burn out. And that's exactly what's happening. Meghan's charm is fading. Harry's fight is turning into doubt, and the world is starting to care less. But behind all of this, there's something sad too. Two people who thought they could escape and build something new, now stuck in contradictions and desperation. The fairy tale didn't just end, it fell apart on stage, in front of cameras, and the world saw it. Not in a big, dramatic moment, but in a mic that stayed in Harry's hand, a dress that didn't fit the moment, and the silence that followed.